broken it with the help of oxygen. Then what? How this broken or food is going to deliver to the cells, and there comes the transportation process. It need to be transported to different body parts. So that also differs from human beings to plants. Like in human beings we have connective fluid tissue, that is blood, that performs all the function. If we need to transport anything like a protein, we need to transfer enzymes, we need to transfer like oxygen, everything is carried out by blood, with the help of blood. So plasma and blood cells, you already know we have many blood cells, like three major RBCs, then we have WBCs, and then we have platelets. So RBC we already know, we also call them erythrocytes, and then we have WBC that we call leukocytes, and platelets we call thrombocytes. So RBC is the one which is responsible for carrying oxygen. It carries oxygen. It has a pigment called hemoglobin which actually carries oxygen. This is a very important question. Like hemoglobin, you should know that oxygen carrying capacity of RBC is because of hemoglobin, the pigment present in it. Then we have WBC, it provides us immunity, it fight against all the diseases. And then we have platelets that help in blood clotting. Like if we have blood leakage or something, it clots it at that point, and that prevents the loss of fluid from the body. Then we have plasma. If we subtract blood cells from the blood, then it leaves whatever is left is plasma. This plasma contains mostly water and some proteins also. And if we talk about the same whole composition of the blood, like what actually it is made up of, then we have like blood consists of plasma. As I told you, it consists of it help in carrying food from one place to another, like from one body part to other body part. And it also carries CO2, carbon dioxide. Oh, that's a good point. Like plasma helps in carrying 20 to 24% of CO2. That's very important thing. And then we have nitrogenous waste. Okay, waste also passes through this with the help of plasma. And then we have these cells. We have already discussed all these important point of cells. And we have also divided like blood is not we have two different types of organisms. Like we have closed circulatory system in some organisms, and in some we have open circulatory system. In case of closed circulatory system, they have proper blood vessels which help in means proper flowing of the blood through the body. They differ, and according to their size, we can say thickness, they differs. We have arteries, we have veins, and then we have capillaries. So arteries are the thick one which have elastic walls, and because arteries are the one which carry blood from heart to other organs. Like it takes blood from heart to other organs. As we know, heart pumps, so there's a lot of pressure. To handle that pressure, they have too much thickness so that it can prevent the blood. Okay, then we have veins which are not that much thick, because as blood have reached all body parts and delivered the carbon, oxygen and other substances, so it's no longer in pressure, it no longer have pressure, so they are thin comparative to arteries. And then we have capillaries. They are one cell thick, they have only one cell thick wall, and they are the smallest vessels. And exchange of material between blood and surrounding cells, it takes place with the help of capillaries, because their body wall is very thin. It can easily diffuse, the oxygen can easily diffuse, and it also joins veins को connect करता है आपस में, it connect veins. Okay, and then afterward we discuss another fluid, tissue fluid, that is lymph. Okay, it's like lymph is known as tissue fluid because it is present in tissues. Like after if we go out of the blood vessels, like blood flows in blood vessel, and we go out of that, we have cells and we have tissues. In that also some liquid is present. So that fluid is called lymph. It is similar to plasma, but except one thing, it is colorless. Okay, and then we have heart, the most important organ of our body, which pumps the blood, because blood carries everything, that's fine, okay, blood carries everything, but what makes it to move to the through whole body? So there comes the heart. It's a function of heart to pump the whole blood. Why we have four different chambers? Because we need to separate the oxygenated blood from the deoxygenated blood, because oxygenated blood is one which is carrying high amount of oxygen, and deoxygenated is one which is carrying high amount of CO2. If it mixes, then it's of no use. Like, so what did they have is proper system, like oxygenated blood will remain in this vessel, in this part, and then it will pass to this part, and from here it will go to the whole organ or tissues, to the whole body, and then again it will come back to this chamber and will pass to, it's the same. Like you can learn this process by just left right left, by learning left right. Like we walk in a march in left right and left manner. In the same way, the first the blood comes into left atrium, and it comes from lungs. Like it is oxygenated blood. Which blood? It is oxygenated. It contains high amount of oxygenated blood, which then passes through left ventricle. When it is in relaxation state, then blood enters inside it. When it contracts, it passes to left ventricles, and in left ventricles it is pumped. Like left ventricle have thick walls, so it pumps the blood, and it is pumped to the whole body, where exchange of actual CO2 and O2 takes place. Oxygen is given out to the whole body, all cells, and CO2 is absorbed by the blood. Then it enters into right atrium, which relaxes, so the blood enters in, and then it is passed through contraction. While atrium contract, ventricles relax, so blood from this atrium enters to ventricle, and this ventricle, as I told you, have thick walls, so it pumps the blood, and blood goes where? It goes to lungs again for the oxygenation. Also we can say here it has deoxygenated blood, which carries CO2, high amount of CO2, and here oxygenated blood carries high amount of oxygen. Again here oxygenation takes place, oxygen is added, that way I said oxygenation. Okay, oxygenation takes place, oxygen added, and again it passes to left atrium, and this whole process, whole cycle goes on. This is how heart performs.